Great. Somebody's going to come smashing through there. Because when... I tell you why. I know this is going to happen. Do you know why? Because when Leon does his playthrough, it's smashed. And he uses the club key to get in, and then he jumps through there. Fucking great. There's an ink ribbon. This is useless stuff. Portable safe. Oh, God. Ah! Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Yeah, whatever. Resident Evil 2 Remake, it's literally going to be the death of me. It's just... Even when I know what's going to happen, still gets me. But, oh my God, my heart is just in all sorts of trouble. So, there is an article which got posted 5 days ago, which is just starting to actually gain some traction around the gaming news marketplace. And this is as regards to a tax that the state of Transylvania... Oh no, Pennsylvania. Sorry. Damn it. I had that all set up. No, sorry, the state of Pennsylvania, not... is wanting to impose on mature or adult-only video games. Because, of course, video games are the whole reason why there's so much violent crime in just America and not the rest of the world where everyone else plays video games. But it's just, okay. Okay, that's just by the by. So let's go into this article and then I'll give my takes. Now, obviously, if you're an American, I'm not American, I'm in the UK. I'm giving this perspective from an outsider, a foreigner, an enemy of the state. Okay, whatever. I'm giving this opinion from an outsider. And, you know, it may rub you up the wrong way, but I got to give my honest opinions. Lawmakers in Pennsylvania are looking to impose a big tax on mature video games. Under a bill introduced to the state's General Assembly, any game with an M, mature, or AO, adult only, rating would be subject to a 10% tax. Now, this is actually the bill itself. Number 109, the General Assembly of Pennsylvania, introduced by Quinn, Hill Evans and Nielsen, January 28th, 2019. And this is the one, and it gives all the descriptions here about the mature rating, adult only rating, video game, all this kind of stuff. And also down here, if you're a retailer and you don't pay up the tax, what you're going to get, which is a bill for some more money, which is lovely. The tax revenue would go towards a fund that is earmarked to enhance safety measures in Pennsylvania school districts. Now, I'm just going to stop it there for the time being, because Christopher Quinn is attempting to argue that violent video games are at least contributory towards school violence in America. And there has been a whole load of it. Now, if there was some legitimate evidence to support this, then this is something I could take seriously. But I can't take this remotely seriously. And the reason why I can't take this remotely seriously is because you have to look at the country and you have to look at other countries. Because video games aren't exclusive to the United States, they are worldwide, and yet the overwhelming amount of school violence appears to be in the United States itself. So, if this is where I'm not trying to rub you up the wrong way, America. This is just how, unfortunately, it is. So, if violent video games were a legitimate contributory factor to, these types of violence which are around the place, then we would see it worldwide, proportionately worldwide. Not an exact proportion, but proportionally worldwide. And that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing it very specific to one country. And, I don't have to pull all the graphs up. You can do it yourself, where all of it goes into the gun violence in the US versus other countries. And literally, the US is like up here, and then even the second country is like down here. Here in the UK, we're like second or third to last when it comes to gun violence. I think Japan is technically the safest, inverted commas, place when it comes to gun violence. And you also, and I'm not trying to rag on you, America. I'm not trying to rag on you because, obviously there's a huge debate about the Second Amendment in America and gun control and people wanting to impose gun control. Mostly on the left, they want to impose gun control. On the right, they want to retain the right to bear arms. Now, having spoken to both people on the left and the right about this, I can see both sides. I can see, my own personal take, which I'll give, is I do think there needs to be gun regulation, better gun regulation in the United States. However, it's very easy to say that, and it's very difficult to actually impose because of how long it has actually been going on for. And in the same instance, I fully understand people's right to bear arms and the responsible owners of firearms. And they've got to, unfortunately, be punished by the people who abuse this right. And it is about abuse of the right. Once you give somebody the right to do something, once they start to abuse it, it puts everybody in the doghouse about it. So I don't want to go too much into this because this is a topic that I really don't have the information to put together, a decent enough argument. All I can say is what I have seen in terms of the actual crimes itself, the actual statistical evidence which is put forward, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to go too much into that because I want to make this more of a general thing. Because there's no factual evidence to support. There's no official factual evidence to support that violent video games cause violence. There's none. None at all. I believe there is some evidence to suggest that violent video games has contributed to a rise in anger in people. Sometimes short term, sometimes longer term. But I don't think there's any statistical evidence whatsoever to support that it actually increases or pushes out violent crime at all. And if that was the case, then surely to goodness, this would also be the case for other forms of violence. And that would be, film violence. You can watch a violent film. It doesn't make you go out afterwards and do something horrendous. It might affect somebody who's not quite here, compos mentis, but you're just your normal human being. It's just, we understand the difference between fantasy and reality. And I think that is a huge thing here, the difference between the two. And also, I think there is something that goes on in society today that is a sustained negativity, a constant sustained negativity that shows violence, that shows criminality, that shows desperation, all these things, all the world's worst attributes. And that's the news. News doesn't operate off good news. News is only news if it's bad. And all day, every day, when you turn on the news, all you hear, X amount of people have died in this tragedy. X amount of people have died here. This bad things happened. That's bad things happen. Mudslide, landslide, earthquake, da-da-da. And that's all that they focus on, because good news isn't news. Good news doesn't get views, doesn't get clicks, doesn't get people tuning in. It's everything negative. So if there is something that would constantly drip feed this sort of behavior, to me, it would be as obvious as the constant news feeds that we get today, especially now that we are in the age of the internet and we do have 24/7 news, and it's just around the clock negativity. You know, you will get on some news shows the very final piece of news will be something a little bit upbeat to say, hey, the world's not a complete, utter clusterfunk. But yeah, so that you can't pinpoint violent video games and say, oh, this is the reason why people go around and do the school stuff. That's nonsense. I mean, it is nonsense. Now, this bill has been attempted before. Pennsylvania have tried this before, and it has been shot down. They actually tried it last year, and it got shot down. Now they're going to try it again. I reckon this is going to get shot down as well. I don't think this is going to have any legs whatsoever. I really don't. And I just want to go into another piece of the article here. It says, M-rated games tend to be the biggest sellers in the video game world. Franchises including COD, Grand Theft Auto, Assassin's Creed typically carry the ratings, which advises parents that the content is suitable for players over the age of 17. And that's where I think this has got to be focused towards. The gaming industry has got to educate parents better on what games are suitable for their children. Because we see constantly young children playing mature-rated, M-rated, adult-only games. And I'm not saying that per se is a problem causing them to do other things. But what I am saying is it's because people, when they see a movie, they are fully aware that 18, PG-13, 15, they're fully aware of what those ratings mean. But when it comes to video games, for some bizarre reason, parents seem to have this standoffish attitude towards it. Well, it's just a video game. And I think there has to be more education to literally tell parents that when something is a mature rated game, it is for a mature audience. It is for a 17 and over. When a game is an adult only game, this is legitimately for adults, for 18 and plus, 21 plus, whatever, you know, the age of the adult is in that actual specific country itself, and make that very, very clear indeed. Because to me, it's just a matter of education in these matters. But I think it's just an absolute load of drivel. This an absolute load of nonsense. And to be perfectly honest with you, to me, it just looks like another way to try and deflect the violence that is going on and the issues that are going on in one country and put it on an industry with no evidence to support it. And also another way to try and gain revenue through taxation. But that's just the way of the world. So there we go. Pennsylvania, Transylvania, wherever it is trying to impose a video game tax, which I think is just going to get absolutely laughed out of the committee, State House, Senate, local town hall, wherever it may be that they're going to vote on it. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.